All right, there we go, folks. So 2 minutes through, Serbia and Switzerland still 0-0. Switzerland had a good chance early on to potentially open up the deadlock. They'll be in the all going from right to left. Serbia in the all red, going from left to right today. So once again, here we see Switzerland on the ball. Victor Rodriguez to send this one forward. Moral of the story: I do not trust the type of speakers that is here, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty good outset from what I've seen today. So, of course, a lot of stuff going on. 2 minutes and 43 seconds through here. And of course, I think there's a lot of stuff going on as well. So, as I noted earlier, interesting starting lineups. You're going to have Vanya Milinkovic Savic in the back for Serbia. Not too many changes. The only change being Vlajovic up top with Mitrovic, which was not the case in the game against Cameroon. In the game with Switzerland on the other side, they will end up making one change that Shah will end up being in the back with Akanji today. That is the only change. And also, pardon me, there's a second change. Xherdan Shaqiri back in the lineup after not starting against Brazil on Monday. So once again, here comes Serbia on the attack going forward. Still trying to feel this one out now to Milenkovic. Milenkovic now out on the wing for Zivkovic. Zivkovic double teamed right now, and he'll just pass it back. Once again, Serbia still trying to find that breakthrough early on. As this one, it's a good ball clipped through by Milinkovic Savic out on the right now for Kostic. He whips it in. Mitrovic can't get there as it's headed away. Good work there by Akanji to just clip it. Here's Kostic, the Eintracht Frankfurt man. Gets it out on the wing for Tadic. Kept it in play as of now, as we're here 4 minutes through. Pass was deflected, I believe, and yes, it was. So corner kick for Serbia coming up. So once again, as I noted, Serbia, a team that, made their appearance earlier in the year, in the sense that it was still an interesting team overall. But I think there was a lot of ups and downs along the way. Now it's a little more formidable. You got Kostic, you got Milenkovic, some other guys, as that one is headed down. Interesting one there by Milenkovic, trying to get that one steered on frame, but he couldn't as it goes out for a goal kick. So about 5 minutes through. As I noted earlier, this is not the only game going on right now. You have Brazil facing off against Cameroon. That one I'm going to pull up the stream right now if possible. But either way, it should be an interesting one as well. A lot of people have counted out Cameroon in ways and sense when they have these big name opponents. But look at Japan. Japan beat Spain, and that caused them to go to the knockout. Even eliminated Germany. Tunisia beat France, and had it not been for Denmark getting the W against Australia, they probably would have ended up winning. I'm going to take the mic out. There we go. Now you see me. So nonetheless, interesting developments here. Not too much, save for a couple flurries by Switzerland early on that were saved there by Vanja Milinkovic Savic for Serbia. So once again out on the right, Widmer. So once again, Switzerland continues to kind of knock the ball around the park, so to speak. This one's still in the area, and Milenkovic had to clear it there. Interesting battle there on the left. It was Vargas almost coming through to maybe make it a 1-0 game, but in the end, ends up not happening. So either way, here's Akanji. Now on the other side. Folks, I don't know what's happening, but I think there seems to be a problem with the sound. I was trying originally on the desktop here at Cronkite. Now I'm trying on my laptop, and I still can't get the sound going. Either way, this one's clipped up by Vargas, caught there by Milinkovic Savic. If there's any types of problems with sound, just tell me. Can't hear me? We've got the chat right here. Tell me if there's something wrong, but I don't know. I might just tune into this myself, honestly, at the rate we're going. So either way, free kick now for Switzerland, potentially. I think it was. Yeah, it's a free kick for Switzerland, trying to get something going in the sense, trying to get something going. As here we see a kanji clipping it forward. Okay, I'm just listening to. I think it seems to be working. So if you're having problems with sound, it might be on your end, but I'm just listening to the stream as well. It seems to be fine. But either way, nonetheless, throwing. This one clipped forward here, once again headed away. Good work there by Freuler for Switzerland. Of course, Remo Freuler, fourth captain on the side, 51st cap overall with 5 goals in general. Another interesting development, as I said earlier, these two teams met up in what my opinion was one of the best group stage games overall, but it ended up not being well. I shouldn't say that. It ended up being a pretty good game as Switzerland ended up winning 2-1, and Shaqiri ended up getting the game winner in that one. All three guys that scored in that game, Mitrovic, Xhaka, Shaqiri, all playing today, all most capped or some of the most capped players in their country's history. Of course, Serbia's kind of had a little bit back and forth over the years, sometimes playing as Yugoslavia, only playing as Serbia, I believe, starting in 2010 or 2014. So it's been relatively recent for Serbia. If they were to qualify for the knockout, it would be the first time they would do so since 1998. Back then, they played as Yugoslavia. Meanwhile, rough tussle here as Tadic goes on the end line. Somehow, the ball's still in play. Still in the area. Last touched. It's hard to tell who last touched it, but either way, it's a goal kick. But nonetheless, Dusan Tadic wrestling there on the ball with Vidmer. And we did not have a Japan Spain problem in the sense that the ball went out of bounds. Kind of was still rolling on the end line. It was mostly in a, of course, that's kind of been a, a topic of conversation recently on, was that ball inbounds with the Japan Spain? And some people say yes, some people say no, and sometimes it's just off angle and perception, as it was in that game. No problems there, as it just rolled on the end line. It was quite an obedient ball in that way. Nonetheless, we're approaching 10 minutes here between Serbia and Switzerland, 0-0 between these two sides. For Switzerland, all they need is a point, and at the very least, they beat Cameroon out on goal differential. That may be a little tough, knowing Cameroon's got most of the goals. Meanwhile, the shot is in off the post, still in the area, and now it's collected by Milinkovic Savic. It was an absolute rocket fired there by Zivkovic. And boy, oh boy, Switzerland was caught on the back foot there. Zivkovic cutting inside with his left foot. Serbia is in all red. Switzerland is in all white for today. Here's Embolo. Plays it off. This could be trouble here. Nonetheless, cut away. Good work there by Velkovic. Once again, out to Granit Xhaka. Most capped man, I believe. No, Shaqiri. Xhaka making his 110th cap today. Shaqiri 111th. So again, very back and forth between those two sides. Another interesting note for Switzerland is Jan Sommer is not starting the game today, as they will go to one of their backups, Gregor Kobel, the Borussia Dortmund man, will be making his 4th cap today for his country. Nonetheless, this one's sent out here. Maybe another Serbian attack. This one played through Kostic, trying to get inside. Mitrovic can't get a touch on it as it's cleared away by Akanji. Throw in here. Serbia overall, I mean, they made the World Cup 2018. I don't think they made Euro 2020. So this is again is like big revelation for them. And then Switzerland too pulled that upset against France in the round of 16 last year in the Euro 2020 before eventually losing to Spain in penalties. So of course there's kind of a differences on both sides here. Zivkovic, once again back to the center backs, Milinkovic Savic. It's interesting when you line up in a 3-4-1-2 where you've got I've talked about this before in like a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3. It's quite evident those guys in the wings will be functioning more like wing backs rather than wingers themselves. And you can just get a replay here of the Zivkovic shot. It was always going to go to the corner. I mean, had that been on target, that would have been a goal without a doubt. Would have been a good goal as well. Boy, we've seen some interesting ones today. Of course, if you were tuning in on Wednesday, you heard me reacting to Luis Chavez's goal for Mexico. What a goal that was from 30 yards out. Could have almost gotten the second one from that range too, had it not been from good goalkeeping play by Aloes, the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper. Nonetheless, goal kick now for Serbia's Milinkovic Savic goes back to take it. Vanja Milinkovic Savic, one of the few guys that was not starting in the game back in 2018. For both teams, there were five guys that started that game, along with Xhaka, Shaqiri, and Mitrovic. Those guys also included in that tally. But you're looking at Vanja Milinkovic Savic. He's one of three goalkeepers on the Serbian side, and he's the one with the least amount of caps, interestingly enough, with 10 overall. 14th minute, still 0-0 between Serbia and Switzerland. We have not gotten an update yet from Cameroon against Brazil. Again, should be a very interesting matchup in general. Here's Embolo again, trying to make a run for it. It's got options on both sides. Goes out to Vargas on the left, edge of the box. Now inside, Vargas squares it to the middle, and it's blocked away. Good chance there by the Swiss to potentially get something going. Either way, now it's back because Akanji plays it back towards Kobo. Kobo now to Victor Rodriguez, being one of those guys that played. Sorry, it's not Victor, Ricardo Rodriguez, I should say. Milenkovic now controls the pace, and once again, you have to give credit to these midfielders. Speaking of which, Jaka picks off the pass here, back towards Polo, back towards Jaka. Now out on the wing for Vargas. Vargas plays towards the middle, tried playing it into Embolo, but it was cut away there by the Serbians. Meanwhile, here comes Kostic on the counter, trying to get past Vidmar as they go closer towards goal. Vidmar catches up. Kostic strangled there, close to ground, and it's a free kick. And with that, it's our first yellow card of the match, as it's given to Vidmar, I guess. Yes, it would be. Ref was not looking towards Vidmar at the time, but now he does get a talking to in that sense. Silvan Vidmar, one of those guys. Played right back overall, and he started to kind of grow over time and how this World Cup has kind of transpired, and especially for Switzerland over the past few years. Of course, saw him in Euro 2020 of last year. What was kind of an interesting group overall. Nonetheless, free kick here for Switzerland. It will be Tadic to take it here. Left-hand side. He'll swing it in with his left boot upon the ref's whistle. Once again, the ref goes into the area. Tadic swings it in, headed away. That one, too. I believe it might have been Vidmar on the header there, believe it or not. 15 minutes through. It's still scoreless between Serbia and Switzerland. Both teams trying to make it to the knockout. For Switzerland, back-to-back World Cups, which has not happened in history. They've done it in back-to-back appearances, which was 1994 and 2006, but never in back-to-back World Cups. This one goes out once again. Here's Milenkovic playing on the ball here. Lukic sends it forward, headed away there. Good work there by Vidmar on the right-hand side. You'll have Akanji as your left center back, Shar as your right. Once again, Pavlovic, left center back getting forward. How about this? Pavlovic at edge of the box, clips it in, and it's headed away as Jaka was the one heading back there. How about that? Jaka and Froila, the holding midfielders, able to hold their line. And it once again goes back for another corner kick, courtesy of Dusan Tadic here. Once again, Serbia with majority of the opportunities in this one. They need a win today if they are to advance to the knockout. What should be a great game overall. This one once again swung in, headed away. Go towards the back. We go for Serbia's Pavlovic plays it back. It was a little check in there by Milenkovic Savic back towards that side. Once again, Tadic on the ball, able to get past Froila for now. Nonetheless, it's Tadic against Froilas. Tadic continues to dance, gets away from Froila, now plays it in dangerous areas. It's knocked away there. Good work by the Swiss. Vargas there on the track back. This one clipped in, couldn't find Mitrovic, cleared by Akanji over there. And here come the Swiss back in Serbian territory. Embolo goes down, edge of not necessarily edge of the box, 25 yards out. Either way, the ref says, get up. Again, Embolo. Braille Embolo scored against Cameroon. Decided not to celebrate in that game because it was his home country. He was born in Cameroon. So a sign of respect there by Embolo. That has been the only goal the Swiss have scored at this World Cup, and it's kind of imminent. I mean, you think about it, and you got Mitrovic on the other side for Serbia, in the sense that if one of these two teams, or one of their players rather, were to kind of break on the scene, it could be kind of special overall. I was just looking before this game on the Golden Boot race, and right now, believe it or not, it is a five-way tie for 3 goals. Quite impressive overall, if you ask me. Nonetheless, here comes Kostic on the other way, swings it in, can't find Mitrovic, cleared away there by Shar. Out on the right, Pavlovic once again, boy, it's a left center back, but plays higher up almost as he was a left back or a left wing back in that case. So as I was saying earlier, five-way tie right now for the Golden Boot. Enter Valencia of Ecuador, Marcus Rashford of England, Kylian Mbappe of France, Cody Gakpo of Netherlands, and Alvaro Morata of Spain right now in that regards, scoring the goals. This one played through. As here's Rodriguez now, the left back, edge of the box. Rodriguez thought about it, crosses it in. It falls on the ground now to Sao. Sao to Shaqiri, deflected, and it's in the net. Goal for Switzerland, and it's the man himself, the captain himself, Xherdan Shaqiri, making it 1-0 in favor of Switzerland right here in the 20th minute. It was dribbling in the box, and Shaqiri, first time, puts it in the net. Switzerland 1, Serbia 0. And boy, is that special. The man who scored the game-winning goal in the last time these two teams played in the World Cup and in general, able to break the deadlock here. So now for Switzerland, it turns into kind of a little bit of a battle in sorts. Do they try to pressure Brazil, and sense that if Brazil was to lose today, for all you know, maybe Serbia's or maybe Switzerland's got a chance. But either way, deflected, and it was in. It was a good chance there. It was Pavlovic, and then also in the area, both of which almost going in for a slide tackle to try to block it. And it was Pavlovic actually with the bad clear, give it right to Sao, and Sao made the right decision to play it right towards the captain. Just like that, buries it in the back of the net. So it's kind of an interesting choice now for Switzerland, in the sense that they can even go up the pitch here, or they can play back. It's all in the hands of Murat Yakin, their head coach now. Of course, a Swiss man himself during his playing days, 49 caps and 4 goals for his country. He's got 1 year of coaching the Swiss national team under his belt. Of course, trying to get them back towards that. From what we saw earlier today, in which Portugal still held their position at number 1 in the group, in Group H. South Korea, boy oh boy, what a run they had too. Everybody thought it was going to be Uruguay and Ghana. South Korea beat Portugal, and they were the ones on. Speaking of which, I think Swiss damage here. Shot taken here, and it goes right towards Milinkovic Savic. Granit Xhaka there with the shot. But as I was saying, runner-up of this group faces Portugal on Tuesday. Winner of this group will play South Korea. Most likely the winner will be Brazil. There's not been any type of notes of what's exactly happening. Either way, this one played out on the wing here. Serbia is still trying to kind of settle into this one. They had a good chance with Zivkovic in a few minutes ago, and it eventually kind of bounced off the post, kind of redirected back towards the area, but nobody was there to meet it. As Milinkovic Flips the pitch here over to the left-hand side. And with that, we also go back to Pavlovic and the center backs. Back out on the wing again. Kostic whips it in, trying to find Vlajovic in the middle, and he can't. Caught there by Kobel. So far, Gregor Kobel, 24 years old, Dortmund man in his fourth cap overall for his country. Of course, Jan Sommer, the main man, out for today. I tried looking online if there was any sort of injury since I did not watch Brazil Switzerland, but I couldn't find anything. So I guess it was just a coach's decision to leave Sommer on the bench and give Kobo some time. And what has been a crucial game so far. Nonetheless, Sao tries getting in the area, went down. Nonetheless, ref plays it in favor of the goalkeeper. It sends Milenkovic Savic. To note, there are two Milenkovic Savic's on the pitch today. There's Sergei Milenkovic Savic, the midfielder who scored against Cameroon, and then there's Vanya Milenkovic Savic, the goalkeeper who was playing today. So, nonetheless, Vanya has done a decent job, save for the goal. Once again, he'll be back on defense. There's Jaka, plays it out to Mbolo. Mbolo with a nifty turn as he enters the box. Went down in the box, no foul called since it was kind of delayed. This one will be out. Was off, I think, the right peg of Shaqiri there, and now it'll be a throw-in for Serbia. It was an interesting challenge there as they're replaying the challenge there on Lukic with Sal. Serbia has kind of been caught in some interesting situations. Of course, the more physical team, and it was a case in 2018. I believe four of their guys, they had five midfielders out there on that day. Four of them had a yellow card at halftime. Basically, Alexi Lala said that it's not going to be that big of a game overall. In the sense that, if they do get a yellow card, I think it would help overall. So either way, here comes Serbia. The other way, Tadic cutting back towards the middle. Tadic still going on the ball, spinning, clips it forward, can't find Mitrovic nor Vlajovic in that area. As Pavlovic continues to play up. Shaqiri was the one tracking back, believe it or not. And Kostic plays it into empty field. Just like that, Switzerland here on the counters. Embolo was held there, and now we're going to get a free kick in favor of Switzerland. So once again, clipped out on the right, headed away there, as it's a throw-in for Switzerland. Yeah, and Switzerland has done a decent job so far here in the 26th minute. They're up 1-0 here against Serbia. Still in need of some stuff overall, but overall not too bad in that sense either way. A little trip up in the middle, and here comes the Serbians going forward. Tadic whips it in. Look for Mitrovic. Header right in the net. Just like that. Smooth like butter. Alexander Mitrovic just glances it off his head. And just like that, it's a 1-0 game here in the 27th minute. A great ball in by Tadic, and Mitrovic, just like any poacher would, just nods it in. Nothing Kobo could do there, and it's back to a 1-all game. So overall, big moment for Mitrovic. Alexander Mitrovic there with his second goal and in the games against Switzerland, as he did score the opener in that match back in 2018. Did score the goal also in the game against Cameroon. Oh boy, what a finish there by the Fulham man. 9 goals he scored for his club. That's tied for 4th in the Premier League. Looking at what he's done at the national level, that is now his 52nd goal and his 79th cap. So do the math, folks. That's pretty good overall. That's about 0.66 goals per game. So just like that, 28th minute, 1-1 between Serbia and Switzerland. As Jadon Shaqiri scored the opener in the 20th minute before it was a chance for Alexander Mitrovic as it's tied up 1-1 here. It's an interesting battle, and it's kind of deja vu of what we saw last time. And since Shaqiri and Mitrovic both scored, and then Granit Xhaka also had a goal from about 25 yards out in that game. So overall, not too bad. Not too bad overall. Once again, back to Pavlovic. Pavlovic, and then also Velkovic. Pavlovic more playing like a left back, and Velkovic has settled into more of a left center back role, so to speak, in this one. Kind of the shift that's been put up there by Dragan Stojkovic, the Serbian head coach. Once again, a throw in for Serbia. So here's Velkovic. Once again, back to the goalkeeper, Vanja Milenkovic-Savic. Lukic. Now to Milenkovic. Back in Swiss territory. Mitrovic out towards Zivkovic. 2 goals. Quick moments, too. It's 1-1 between Serbia and Switzerland as the game has started to open up overall. And Switzerland had a couple chances to potentially be on the break, but nonetheless, maybe Serbia's got the momentum right now as Kostic dances on the ball. Freuler there on defense. And in a sense, he's also going to earn a free kick for his side, as Kostic was the one kind of harassing him in the area. Filip Kostic played for Eintracht Frankfurt for a long time, now playing with Juventus, one of the 10 Serie A players on this Serbian roster. As we get another look at Mitrovic on the run, glancing header, back of the net. Probably one of the best headed goals I've seen at this World Cup. Perfect run, perfect timing, perfect placement. Nothing else. And of course, Stojkovic has got to be happy with that one. So here's Rodriguez again. Plays it forward. Great ball in. Here's Shaqiri. And he just puts it wide. How about that, though? He was trying to argue maybe it might have been deflected. Maybe it might have been a penalty. But either way, I got to say, holy smokes. Ricardo Rodriguez with probably the best ball ever in this World Cup. How about this? About 20, 30 yards out, but he clips it perfectly as the Serbians were left ball watching there. And Shaqiri with his left boot tried to kind of toe poke it past Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, but either way, just trickles wide. Could have been goal number 2 of the day. Still 1-1 here between Serbia and Switzerland. So once again, Milinkovic-Savic takes the goal kick, launching this forward. The Serbians, as I noted earlier, trying to make it to the knockouts for the first time in 24 years. The first time as Serbia. The last time they did so, they were under the name Yugoslavia. They've kind of been under Yugoslavia for majority of their career before, I believe in 2006, they went as Serbia and Montenegro before officially being known as just Serbia. Nonetheless, 32nd minute, still a lot of angst in the air. Still a lot of time going back and forth in this one. As Switzerland, as I noted, trying to make it to the knockouts, as has been the case back in 2018. 2014, I believe they were just edged out in that regards. This one clipped up in the air, as it was Sao and Mbolo in the area. Sao went down again, no foul called, as it's collected out there. And with that, might have a corner, I don't know. It's going to be a throw-in, no, corner. As Shaqiri's the one taking over. Xherdan Shaqiri was the man to take corners. Now they'll go over to take a throw-in, courtesy of Vidmar. He plays in towards Shaqiri, just like that. Shaqiri now on the right. Shaqiri, left-footed cross, a little too far for Vargas as it goes out for Serbia in a goal kick. Let me give an update on Cameroon, Brazil, if it's a decent one. As I noted earlier, Brazil has already qualified for the knockouts. So Switzerland with the win, Brazil with the loss, depending on goal differential, could end up taking that number one spot, which would be huge, in since they would have to face South Korea in the round of 16 match rather than Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. If that happens, though, boy, oh boy. Portugal against Brazil in a knockout would be something to experience. Either way, it looks like Brazil might be the one ended up getting the first one there. Speaking of which, they actually have a free kick coming up in a little while. Meanwhile, back with Serbia, Switzerland, Zivkovic sends it into the box, back post, little too far for Mitrovic, who tried to flick it with his right foot, but ends up going a little too far. So back towards this game, Cameroon, Brazil, right now in the 34th minute. Got a lot of guys on the ball. You've got Rodrigo, on the ball. You've got Danny Alves there in the area. Hard to tell who the other guy is. He'll move away. Once again, still in the area. Brazil playing mostly backups today. As it's Alves to take the free kick and it goes over. So it's still 0-0 between Cameroon and Brazil. As I noted earlier, the only guy who started the game against Switzerland that is playing today for Brazil is Fred. And since Fred came in replacement. Meanwhile, back with Serbia and Switzerland, Vargas has picked up a yellow card. Second yellow card as Switzerland once again gets back in that area. Of course, there were a lot of guys on a yellow, at least for Serbia, as you had five guys. You had Jovic, Milenkovic, Pavlovic, Gudelj, and Lukic on a yellow. For Switzerland, it was Reeder, Elvedi, and Akanji. Elvedi not in the starting lineup. Reeder also not in the starting lineup going into today. 35th minute. So once again, it's interesting atmosphere between Serbia and Switzerland taking place at Stadium 974. Just hosted a lot of interesting matchups. They hosted Poland against Argentina on Wednesday. Either way, here comes Serbia the other way. This one played in towards Vlajovic. Somehow got a touch, and he puts it in the net. Just like that, gets another goal for Serbia. They're up 2-1 as they have completed the comeback for now. It was dribbling in the box, and Vlajovic said, I'll stick with it. I'll take the shot, and he puts it away. Serbia 2, Switzerland 1, and as it stands right now, they are on to the knockout stage. Again, I mean, it was right in the area, and the Swiss were ready to clear it away. You have to give a lot of patience, a lot of power to Vlahovic for just staying with that, putting his pointer to his mouth to shush the Swiss crowd that's been making a lot of noise so far in this one. Again, kind of surprising overall. I would have never expected that in general, and I believe it was actually one of the holders. Froila was just trying to play it to Vidmar, I believe, and Vlajovic stayed with the ball, and hey, got a goal in the process in the 35th minute. So, of course, did not start in the game against Cameroon, but he was able to come in, and boy, oh boy, did he make a big difference overall. Cameroon, Brazil, I believe there might have been a problem with Peacock stream. So I'll get back with that whenever I get an update on that game. But as it stands, it's 0-0 between Cameroon and Brazil, 2-1 between Serbia and Switzerland. So as it stands right now, Serbia would have a date with, right now, I believe, Portugal. That should also be an interesting matchup. And what is right now, that too, I mean, I'll talk about this later since I'll be doing kind of a preview of what to expect with the knockout round later today at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. But we have to give a lot of credit for Serbia as well. Number 21, Switzerland, number 15 on the rankings. But either way, as I said, a lot of surprise teams making the knockouts. And the winner of that game, which presumably would be Portugal, and as it stands right now, Serbia, is going to face Morocco or Spain. There's a good chance you're going to see Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe in the semis. A young Spain side, maybe in the semis. Morocco. When was the last time we had an African team in the semi? I don't think we've ever had a team from Africa in the semifinals of a World Cup. I don't think it's ever happened. It could happen this year. You never know. So 30th minute, and now it's Switzerland with their backs against the wall, trying to get something going on the attack. Again, as I said, Serbia has been kind of a side that has gone on the attack a lot if they get possession. They had a 3-all, they had 59% against Cameroon. Rodriguez now, edge of the box, keeps it in, plays it across, still in the area. Vargas' shot is blocked, and it's cut away there, sails all the way out. Pavlovic there, laying his body on the line to send it out for another Switzerland throw-in. This one will be on the right side of the pitch. Widmer to take it. It's a kanji. Xhaka back towards Widmer. Switzerland currently in midfield. Now going up the pitch a little bit. Once again, Widmer again. Beautiful ball played over towards Rodriguez. He was wide open on the left, and Rodriguez with a rough first touch. I don't think he even touched the ball in that regards. But either way, Ricardo Rodriguez has put up an interesting game so far. How about that from Vargas? Shaqiri was also in the area. Could have popped a curler had he taken it rather than Vargas himself. Either way, Zivkovic to take the throw in for Serbia. Nice one pip forward. So Mitrovic was the last one to touch it, and in the process, I believe Tadic went down. So free kick for Serbia. As they recovered, they let Shaqiri have a goal in the 20th minute before Mitrovic with a beautiful running ball and just heads it in the back of the net. Especially from Serbia's strikers Vlajovic and Mitrovic. So far, what we've seen, beautiful poacher goals. Nothing else you can say about it. Alexander Mitrovic, vice captain, and then Dusan Vlajovic with his 10th goal for his country here in his 19th cap. Kind of a difference in age, a little young in that regards. Mitrovic, 28 years old, while Vlajovic is only 22. Youngest striker on the team, although there's only 3 forwards listed. One of the youngest, the only younger player, at least on the attack, that is midfield and forward, is Ivan Ilic, who has 7 caps overall, plays for Hellas Verona in Italy. In the corner, Tadic, did he get the touch? Thought he did at least, but now it will be a goal kick. Let's take a look at that. Might have been off of the Swiss. Oh, if it was a touch, it would probably just grazed off of Tadic. It did not look like the ball took a different bounce off of the alleged touch there by Tadic, Dusan Tadic there for Serbia. 20 goals overall for him. He's the second highest goal scorer on this team, at least in the 26 involved, making his 94th cap. So he's the most capped guy on this team as well. Out towards Widmer, midfield, 41st minute. Serbia is up 2-1 against Switzerland. Here's Akanji. Akanji? Out towards Vargas, who plays out towards Rodriguez on the left. Rodriguez sends it in, and it's caught calmly there by Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. As I noted earlier, Milinkovic-Savic, Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, that is the Torino man, 25 years old. So he's not just the least capped goalkeeper on this team, he's also the youngest goalkeeper on this team. But nonetheless, did start in the game against Cameroon. So he does have that trust there from Stojkovic to go forward. And especially playing a big game like this. Serbia needs a win and only a win. Well, mostly a win. And given that Cameroon doesn't pull a shocker against Brazil and they advance, would be big for them. As Yugoslavia, they were 4th place twice at the World Cup, but never as Serbia had they made a run this big, and especially for a team that has not done well, especially in the Euro too. They did not even partake in Euro 2020. This is a big game for them in a big tournament as well, seizing most of the moment if they can get it. Here's a kanji for Switzerland. Once again, still in Serbian territory, but closer towards midfield as it goes out towards Widmer. Widmer crosses it in towards Embolo, who brings it down. Embolo tried playing it through, and it was Shaqiri and Xhaka in the area, and neither one could get a touch on it. as it goes back towards the Swiss. Shar rather, Kobo, Jaka, Shar, clips it forward, now towards Ricardo Rodriguez. Once again with a rough touch there on the left-hand side. He's had a little toughy in terms of collecting balls there, especially the long balls that have been flipped across the pitch. This one clipped high up in the air. Akanji chests it down, and he'll play back towards base and Kobo. Akanji again. So once again, there's some space here for Sao. Options on both sides. He plays out to Rodriguez on his left. Left flank, edge of the box. Rodriguez's cross in low. Cleared away there. Good work by Lukic checking back. Once again, Tadic. And here's some space. Switzerland bringing their numbers back. And this one played through. Little too through as Vlahovic tried to get his second goal of the game potentially. Boy, would a third goal for Serbia be crucial here for a side that wants to get to the knockouts. And that would be something especially for their side as well, especially for their country. Meanwhile, Sao in the box, Vidmer plays it in, and Bolo puts it away. 2-2 here, and the goals keep on coming. Braille and Bolo with his second goal of this tournament, second goal for Switzerland, as he just finishes the ball simply as a number 9 would. Just like that, it's back to square one here at Stadium 974. 45th minute as well. Oh boy. I'll end up posting some of these videos on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and boy, there's going to be a lot, for a lot of these games. I might just have to do a reaction vid from all of the goals we've seen. 4 goals in this first half. I know we saw it was not the case earlier on, but we definitely saw it. Now there's a check on whether or not Embolo was offside, and upon looking at it, I think he might be offside by quite a while. Either way, no instruction yet to resume action. So I would guess in that case, maybe it's being called back. But either way, good finish there by Braille Embolo. If it stands, it would be his 13th goal for his country. And you see what it means to him. And refs are not even going to check it at 2. Interesting decision by the VAR in sense to not even go towards potentially looking at this. 45 minutes through, and we're now in stoppage time. 3 minutes of it. Serbia 2, Switzerland 2. Again, I don't see how that's not offside. That has to be offside. It looked like Embolo was probably like a 3/4 of a body length offside in that raid, as he was leaning forward as well. But either way, here we are, 2-2 between Serbia and Switzerland. It's been a thriller so far. Maybe we see goal number 5 from either side before each team heads into break. As it stands right now, Switzerland would still be on to the knockout stage, as they currently hold 4 points in the group. And overall, they hold a, what would it be, a -1 goal differential? Yeah. No, sorry, it would be a 0 goal differential, as we see here on Peacock. Cameroon and Brazil are currently tied up 0-0 as it is right now. So, unless Cameroon was to get that winner, which, I mean, I'm not counting it out, knowing the teams we've seen that have been kind of named underdogs, but hey, get a win on the final match day. I can give a lot of examples. You never know what's going to happen as this one goes out for a goal kick, trying to play through there for Vargas, I believe. Vargas or Shaqiri. It was Vargas. About halfway through stoppage time, about 90 seconds left to go. Again, interesting battle, an interesting tactical battle too. Dragan Stojkovic for Serbia, and then Murat Yakin for Switzerland. Once again, out towards the wing. And with that, it might have gone out. So a minute left. Still 2-2 between Serbia and Switzerland got Alexander Mitrovic. He ended up getting the equalizer, the first equalizer of this game, courtesy of his header. It was a great running header, just flicked it onto the back post. Oh boy. Piece of beauty. Might as well put it in the Serbia National Museum if that's the case. There's a lot of goals as well. Shaqiri ended up getting got the goal scoring started. Then it was Mitrovic with the equalizer, Vlajovic to give Serbia a 2-1 advantage, and then Embolo just a few minutes ago in the 45th minute made it 3-2. Serbia was calling for a handball there on Akanji. They're not going to get it, as Akanji was there in the box. Vlajovic and Mitrovic were there as well. Actually, it was not Akanji, pardon me, it was Rodriguez. They were trying to blame the guilty party. Again, innocent until proven guilty. Give you that. Nonetheless, halftime here from Stadium 974, and boy, oh boy, if you were looking for some goals on this Friday afternoon, you have gotten them so far. It is 2-all between Serbia and Switzerland. Jirdan Shaqiri and Breel Embolo with the goals for Switzerland. And then for Serbia, on the other side, Alexander Mitrovic and Dusan Vlajovic. That makes this game 2-all. Take a quick break for halftime, and then I'll be back for the second half right after this, only on these reaction vids on YouTube. Welcome back to my reaction videos here on YouTube for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Of course, we're halfway through both Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon, Brazil. Serbia, Switzerland being the more entertaining one and the one with the most ramifications with it. And since that Serbia and Switzerland are both eyeing for that number two spot in the group, Cameroon is also eyeing it as well, but they will need a win against Brazil, who is already qualified to get to that spot. I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for joining me on this Friday afternoon for what should be a great second half ahead. I mean, boy, oh boy, did the first half give us a lot of thrills indeed from Stadium 974 between these two, Serbia and Switzerland. Brazil had a few chances in the other one going forward, of course, playing with squad today since their A squad essentially is already qualified, but still pretty good. You got Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Anthony, Rodrigo. I mean, your front four could honestly be the heading for a World Cup team, and they'd still be able to go to the knockouts by themselves. It's quite impressive, Brazil's depth. But either way, Serbia and Switzerland are back out on the pitch to start off the second half here. Oh, it's like the water. Never go wrong with water, I'll tell you that. Back underway here, Serbia will be going now from right to left in the all red. Switzerland teams, or two goals for each for two teams, I should say. In that first half, Jadon Shaqiri and Braille Mbolo scoring them for Switzerland, Alexander Mitrovic and Dusan Vlajovic scoring them for Serbia. Nasir Shaqiri could still draw and make the knockouts, pending that Cameroon doesn't pick up full points against Brazil today. You also look at Serbia, they do need a win to advance to the knockouts. They've already scored a bunch of goals in this tournament, 5 already. If they get a winner, it would be number 6, at least number 6. If more goals are to come, could be 7, could be 8, for all you know. You never know. You never know. But either way, Serbia, in a sense, would be in a pretty good spot when it comes to goal differentials and goals scored, which are the tiebreakers to get that number 2 spot. No changes at half for either side, at least to my knowledge, as once again it's Schär, Fabian Schär, plays it back towards the goalkeeper for Switzerland. If you're just tuning in, Switzerland with a new goalkeeper today, Jan Sommer not in goal, deciding to go with Gregor Kobel, the Dortmund man making his fourth cap today for Switzerland. Here's Mitrovic going forward, lost the ball there. Good cutoff there by Jaka, who's going forward. He goes down, and now they'll give a free kick. It was a crunching tackle in by Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, and in a sense, he's going to go into the book with a yellow card. So still, I don't think Milinkovic-Savic was on yellow card watch. No, he wasn't. Milinkovic, that is one of the guys in Serbia, Nikola Milenkovic, playing right center back today. He is on a yellow. So if he was to get a yellow, if he were to get a yellow in the second half, he would be out for the knockout stage if Serbia was to pull off the win today and make it to that stage. Nonetheless, here's Vidmer now on the right. Now to Shaqiri. Going back, clips it out towards Akanji. Now left-hand side, still twist. Now to Rodriguez. Clip forward for Mbolo, trying to make a run forward. Pavlovic had to switch on. Nonetheless, Mbolo controls it in the box. We'll get it out towards Shaqiri now. Edge of the box, Shaqiri clips this one in. It's a good ball for Jaka. The shot goes in the net. Beautiful work there. And it's Freuler who puts it away for goal number 3. 48th minute, a tactical finish, a team finish for Switzerland. And just like that, if it stands, they are heading to the knockout stage. Boy, oh boy. What a goal. What a tactical finish. And I just got to keep on saying that the goals keep on coming in this game. They just keep on coming. I mean, forget Cameroon, Brazil. I mean, I might just have to do a reaction video on TikTok where I just, in a sense, do goals for this one. Holy smokes. Has this been just built on steroids, honestly? We did see a 3-all draw between Cameroon and Serbia, but how about this too? And just the build-up with Brielle Embolo, then out to Shaqiri. And I believe who got the touch there? It might have been Vargas. And yes, Vargas, nifty back heel too. Just flicked it back heel first time. and Froila, the holding midfielder, just paints the corner. He sends Milinkovic Savic, the goalkeeper Milinkovic Savic, the other way. How about that too? I mean, that's the other thing as well. It's like they haven't been just goals; they've been tactical, beautiful goals in sense, not golazos, but it's finishes that a coach would love to see, especially at a stage like this. Nonetheless, Switzerland might have been looking for more there, looking for goal number 4. As I noted earlier, if Cameroon were to get a win today, then you might have a goal differential battle between Switzerland and Brazil for that number 1 spot. If they can force Brazil to the number 2 and have them face Portugal and then potentially Spain or Morocco in a quarterfinal, oh boy, would that be something. Out on the wing now for Serbia. Played back here was Milenkovic. Still out with Milenkovic. Still in his territory, clips it forward. Again, just nodded in the area. It was between Akanji and I believe Jaka for the meanwhile. Rodriguez tried sending it forward. It was off of Zivkovic, and it'll be a throw in for Switzerland. 50 minutes through, 40 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And just like that, it was Froila to get the goal in the 48th minute. And the goals keep on coming here. I don't want to say comical, but boy, is that entertaining. The popcorn is probably coming out. Remo Froila with his 6th goal for his country. Great work there by the 30-year-old. One of the guys that did not score in the game against Serbia back in 2018, that being their only matchup overall. They were in the same group. Believe it or not, they both faced Brazil. Switzerland actually got a point against Brazil in that group, but nonetheless, the Brazilians persisted and ended up winning that group, as is most likely going to be the case here, unless Switzerland was to maybe lay on the goal differential and Brazil was to lose. We have not seen it from that game so far here on Peacock, so it does state something in sense, not trying to downplay Peacock's coverage, but just to says something too about that map. It's kind of a layover game for both teams in sense, but we know that Cameroon could have a chance to advance to the knockout. As we've seen before, we've seen this many times. We saw it with Japan yesterday. On the outside looking in, at least hypothetically as an underdog, but able to get the win against Spain, they qualified. Tunisia beats France. And had it not been for Denmark beating Australia, they would have been into the knockout. Senegal, also on the outside looking in, Ecuador, all they needed was a point. Senegal pulls off the win. They're into the knockout. Even the U.S. in that case, too, because Iran was second in that group. It's been the case in almost every group except Group F, in which Morocco and Croatia, the top 2 teams going into that day, ended up being the ones going into the knockout. Other than that, it's been quite simple in that regards. Pavlovic with a rough challenge there, and I believe it might have been Shaqiri there in the middle. And then since it's going to be a free kick, Pavlovic was the one sending the ball up, and Embolo just came crashing into him. I don't think it's necessary to say it was even a tackle. It was a full-on collision. As we take a look at the Froila goal again. Boy, what a beautiful finish too. Just sending Milenkovic Savic the other way as the ball might have been going outside for another player, but either way, the Swiss fans are happy right now. Not in Kaliningrad anymore, but right here at Stadium 974 in Doha, they're definitely replicating it right now. 53rd minute, and it's probably now up to them to potentially hold the lead. They held the lead before, they're up 1-0. Then Serbia came back. They had the lead for a while, up 2-0. And now Switzerland with 2 unanswered goals to now be up 3-2. This one just has to be pipped up in the air by Shar. See, he actually went on his back for a bicycle kick. Nonetheless, Shaqiri sends it back towards Serbian territory and Pavlovic. Pavlovic plays back towards Vanja Milinkovic Savic again. Milinkovic Savic plays it out there. Mitrovic. Going down there was Lukic, and or pardon me, it was Tadic. And with that, it's another free kick for Serbia. Jaka, the man called for the foul there. Jaka actually went with both of his legs, but it was with the simple side motion with nothing from the back, nothing forward, no studs up. Fair call there, as granted Jaka was he booked there on that foul? I think he was, but don't quote me on it. A couple changes coming in as Budelj and Jovic will check in. Of course, as I noted earlier, got a couple midfielders. Nemanja Gudelj coming in, and I think he'll be coming in for Velkovic, one of the center backs. And then you have Jovic on the other side, Luka Jovic, one of the forwards. He will be checking in for Vlajovic. So Vlajovic on the bench and Jovic now in the front. Free kick now for Serbia, sent into the box, headed up there in the area. It's still going, and now it's headed away. The initial header was put in there by Sergei Milenkovic Jovic, but it couldn't be turned in for a goal fresh off that rebound. How about that, though? Serbia continuing their attack. One thing I've noticed too in games is that, even though the goals come aplenty, when you get to the point where it's like a 3-2 match, that's when the goals stop coming in. And once you get to a 3-all game, that's when you enter the realm of shootout. Boy, oh boy, does this have shootout written all over it so far. Yeah, it's a good game so far, definitely. 3-2 in favor of Switzerland. 56th minute. I'll tell you this, I'll be quite honest with you. Going into today, I was a little bit tired, of course. Had a final yesterday, had a final today, and now I'm done with classes, which is fun and definitely exciting for sure. Headed back to Cincinnati next week. But overall, this has kind of energized me a little bit. It's given me a lot of energy. You never know where you're going to get that next goal from in sense. And it's almost an arms race between these two sides. Serbia needing at least 2 goals to officially solidify their chance of the knockout, with some help from Brazil to make sure Cameroon doesn't get the win. Although at this rate, Switzerland has kind of put a little number on themselves in terms of goals scored. You look at Cameroon, they scored 3 goals against Serbia, but then 0 goals rather against Switzerland. So, in sense, if Switzerland wanted to lay it on here, even if Cameroon was to win, wouldn't be enough. Switzerland would still advance, even with that. This one helped out here as this one played low for Akanji. He tried crossing into the center, didn't work. On the back post, it's dribbled in, and Bolo puts it over the bar. Holy smokes. What a chance that was for Braille and Bolo to get his second goal of the day. Right in front of goal, about 3 yards out. And you have to give credit to Akanji whipping this one in. Might have been offside, but either way, as that one was redirected in there by the Swiss. Believe it might have been number 22, I believe. Either way, would have been something. Would have been something. Yeah, it was number 22, Fabian Schär, with the chance. And now it's a free kick for Serbia on the other side. You've got Tadic and then Kostic, both of which free kick takers for their respective club sides. And once again, you have Tadic to whip it in. Tadic going to play it short here. Kostic to take it. He whips it in, back post. And you had another chance there with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic to potentially get ahead on it. Main man in the area ended up not getting a deflection as it skips wide for a Serbian goal kick. Take a look at this again. Yeah, Milinkovic Sergei was just in the area there. Could have gotten ahead, but would have left Kobel in interesting peril from the Swiss side. Like I said, Serbia in need of 2 goals if they are to advance to the knockout to pick up a win. Switzerland, where they are, kind of contempt, but especially in terms of knowing where that Cameroon-Brazil game could go, it could help in getting their chances of potentially going number 1 in the group. Again, would be very crucial for this side. So once again, Serbia is still on the ball. Played there by Sergei, now back towards the center backs. If you're just tuning in, a couple changes for Serbia's Gudelj will now be playing that center back role, although listed as a midfielder on the roster sheet. And then Jovic has checked in for Vlajovic, who at some point would have had the game winner had it not been for the Swiss comeback. Last goal was 10 minutes ago, courtesy of the man himself, Froila. Rema Flor Froila. There we go. Remo Froila. Right now, the man of the match in this one, as it's 60th minute here. Switzerland up 3-2 against Serbia. Lots of goals in this one for Switzerland. It was Jadon Shaqiri to start it off. Equalizer from Alexander Mitrovic before it was Dusan Vlajovic to get the go-ahead for Serbia. And then Borel Embolo made it a 2-all game right before halftime. And then after that, just a few minutes starting the second half, it was Remo Froila to make it 3-2. Of course, a lot of options for Switzerland off the bench in this one. One of those guys being Haris Seferovic, who has been the number 9 in a bunch of these games. The Galatasaray man could be making his 92nd cap, 26 goal overall. Sergey now played in as here comes Serbia once again on the attack. About 30 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this one. Kostic, his cross is deflected, brought down here by Jovic. He redirects this one in. Pavlovic in the area. So is Tadic. His shot deflected. No, it wasn't. It was a straight shot, and it will be a goal kick as that one sailed over the bar. Again, you have to give credit. And Pavlovic, too, the center back going forward, getting some attacking prowess as well. As Tadic tried to bring it down, kind of created the chopper there. Might have been deflected there, might have been off of Widmer's head, but either way, still, Switzerland 3, Serbia 2. Crazy game. Crazy game overall. So once again, Vargas now on the left. Goal here for Switzerland would be huge and potentially getting that ticket to the knockout. Sau now towards Widmer. Shaqiri, once again, Widmer on a slight overlapping run as those two control the ball on the right-hand side. A little knock away as there was a man making a run. Might have been Sal, I believe, but either way, Serbia now on the counter. Switzerland once again with numbers back, trying to play that through towards Jovic, but as I said earlier, numbers were back, and it's cut off. Jaka now to Akanji. Back towards goal with Kobo. Widmer pressured there off Kostic. Foul called, free kick for the Swiss. Peacock on my phone has been having some trouble getting Cameroon Brazil up. I don't know if there's anything else I can do, but either way, as it stands, that game is still 0-0. If that game was to not go in Brazil's favor, that is, Brazil was to not get a win, it would be big for this World Cup. It would be the first World Cup since 1994 in which the teams that have won their respective groups did not go perfect in the group stage. Every team that won their respective group did not go perfect. It's been the case too this year as well. As Netherlands drew to Ecuador, England drew to the US, Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia, France lost to Tunisia, Spain drew to Germany, Japan rather, lost to Costa Rica. That was also possible. Morocco drew Croatia. You never thought that was going to be against number 2 when the pot was started there. I was taking Belgium and Canada to advance out of Group F. And then Group G, Group H too, Portugal losing to South Korea. What a story for South Korea, too. Getting the win in stoppage time, and then had to wait a little while to make sure Uruguay didn't extend onto it. Meanwhile, Mitrovic, now in the area, played outside. This one crossed in, and it's Kobel with the save there. Once again, begging to try to get an equalizer there was Jovic. He's had a little bit of an impact coming in. Jovic and Mitrovic there in the area. It was actually Mitrovic there trying to poke that one through, but it was not for Kobel. Here's Sal. Shaqiri. Widmer. Widmer pips it through, looking for Shaqiri, and it's a little too far as it goes back towards Vanya Milinkovic-Savic. Again, here's Serbia on the attack, just trying to get something going at all. This one here's Lukic, kind of 35 yards out. So once again, back towards Lukic, trying to get something forward. Pavlovic again in the area, played through, still there. Mitrovic chested down. Mitrovic goes down, and Mitrovic won't get the penalty. 65th minute, and another interesting development. Still down there, might have gotten some cramps, and credit to Fabian Schär, the Swiss center back, helping him out there and helping him get back up and onto his feet. But either way, the Serbian fans and the Serbian players are not happy from this call here. And I think it's actually the right call, too. It's a good no call. Mitrovic chested the ball down, and all Schär did was maybe stick out a hand there in favor right towards his chest area. And Mitrovic, in sense, just flopped. It's quite a theatrical, quite a visible flop as well. Not too much confusion as to what was the foul and what was a flop in that regards. Great theatrical performance, but unfortunately, he's not winning an Oscar today. So now there's going to be a free kick for Switzerland. 65 minutes through. Still Swiss 3, Serbians 2. So now we're seeing something going forward. I think the Serbian bench has gotten quite angry, especially at the ref. Some of the guys, including Dragan Stojkovic, the head coach, has been telling the guys to get back. Someone has been given a yellow card in this situation. It's confusing. Just take the call and go with it. I understand, but you still got 25 minutes. You scored 2 goals in the course of 8 minutes the last time. You can do it again. I don't understand this by Serbia. But either way, now that some of the players for Serbia that are currently out on the pitch are talking with some of the Swiss players on what exactly has been going on. Either way, Vajkovic, who is on the bench, has been given a yellow card. Yeah. I don't know exactly what Predrag Vajkovic said. Of course, one of the goalkeepers, 28 caps, the most cap goalkeeper on this Serbian side, excuse me. So now I don't know what's exactly happening here too. The ref's trying to get control of it, and now I think they'll give maybe some warning, but either way, Maksimovic of Serbia is about to come in to that one. Nemanja Maksimovic, 27 years old, most likely going to make his 43rd calf playing for Getafe in Spain. So he will head off, or head on rather, and Sergei Milenkovic Savic, currently on a yellow, will head off. Now to Pavlovic again. Pavlovic, who has gone forward, listed as a left center back, but has kind of been up the pitch ever since Gudelj has been brought on as one of those other center backs. So we could see the team maybe going into potentially a 4-3-3 potentially. Pavlovic kind of going on the right, supporting Kostic a little bit. Meanwhile, on Switzerland's right, facing Serbia's left, Vidmer to take the throw in. Now we'll see another change for Switzerland coming in. Now that I see that, I believe this is the first change of the match for Switzerland, and it will be their center attacking midfielder Gibril Shaw heading off, and we're going to have Dennis Zakaria coming on for him. The other man coming on for Switzerland will be also another midfielder, Edmilson Fernandez. Would be making his 24th cap, coming in, has got 2 goals in this one. Again, goal would be big here. He'll be replacing the captain himself, Jirdan Shaqiri, who had the opener in this one. Beautiful curler deflected off of Pavlovic and into the net. So a couple changes for Switzerland. Those are your first 2 changes of the match for them right here in the 69th minute. Widmer once again to take the throw-in. Once again headed away, throw-in once again for the Swiss. So once again, Jadon Shaqiri spent a lot of time in Europe, now playing with Chicago Fire in MLS. Wishes he was probably out there as he pounded the glass. Not as bad as Romelu Lukaku did it yesterday, but either way, a little frustration as well as not playing the full 90 minutes. In fact, when he scored against Serbia back in 2018, it was in the 90th minute in a crazy game as Granit Xhaka had a laser from about 30 yards out to equalize the game after Alexander Mitrovic scored the opener. Vidmer once again with another throw in as we approach 20 minutes plus stoppage time in the second half. Still Switzerland 3, Serbia 2. As here comes Kostic down the left-hand side. He whips this in, or at least he tried. Cut away there by Zakaria and cleared forward by Fernandez. Zakaria, another guy who's had a lot of options and a lot of opportunities at this level. Currently playing with Chelsea, making his 44th cap today. Once again, here comes Pavlovic. Pavlovic out on the right. This one whipped in by Zikovic. Zikovic trying to get ahead to it was Mitrovic, but it's a little too high for the Fulham man as it goes out for a goal kick. Again, interesting battle. We saw the goals in the first half, four in the course of about 15 minutes. After that, this game has slowed down. The last goal that occurred was in the 48th minute, and for Serbia, the clock is ticking a little bit here at Stadium 974, made of course, 974 shipping containers, at least the exterior, and then the interior, as you can see on the screen if you're watching this. It is all seats. Nonetheless, here's Mitrovic now, edge of the box, cutting inside. His shot is blocked away and clipped as Tadic couldn't get a touch to it. Embolo now towards the midfield, circles back, going towards midfield, fights off Godelj, as now in the midfield for Xhaka. Back out to Vargas now on the left. Vargas, now to Xhaka again. Xhaka deflected as he was trying to send it in towards Embolo, and it's caught there by Banya. And Vanya will send it once again toward his Serbian compatriots there, as it's now with Kostic, now Pavlovic. Boy, if those two on the left-hand side been something today for Serbia. Sau again. Once again, back towards Pavlovic. No update from Cameroon against Brazil. Presumably, that game is still 0-0. Lukic, now to Zivkovic. This one whipped into the box, headed away there by Akanji. He had a Serbian down, now he's up. Either way, left-footed cross, headed away. Good work there by the Swiss, as you got everybody from the back. I mean, Rodriguez has kind of been dynamic going forward, but Shar, Akanji, and Vidmer, the men in charge there. Update from Cameroon, Brazil, it's still 0-0 in the 72nd minute. So, as it seems, unless Cameroon was to get a goal here, which would kind of put this in an interesting perspective as well. You look at this, you've got Cameroon with -1, so you got them at a 0. Switzerland, if they were to drop points here, would go to 4, but then again, it becomes in terms of how many goals have been scored, and for Switzerland, they've scored the goals actually, believe it or not. They've now scored 4 goals in this World Cup, where Cameroon has only scored 3. Or actually, in the hypothetical, it would be 4, but either way, it does state something for this side overall. If you look at Switzerland in terms of yellow cards, they've had 3, and then they've had quite a lot in actually the game today. In fact, 3 overall: Vargas, Xhaka, and Vidmer, if we get to that hypothetical, that is. So as it seems like right now, as I've said before, it looks like it's going to be Brazil and then at 1, and then Switzerland at 2. That is unless Cameroon could maybe thwart Brazil's chances a little bit, at least in getting that number one spot. Brazil has already qualified, one of the three teams to qualify match day two alongside France and Portugal. Interesting match day earlier today as we had Uruguay beating Ghana 2-0, but South Korea pulling a great upset against Portugal. So they will be the ones to advance to the knockout. And Bolo tried to flick it on towards Vargas or somebody. Either way, it's given back towards Serbia. Great cut there by Zakaria, who was checking back. And Dennis Zakaria, known for playing the holding midfielder role for the side. I think he was a starter back in 2018, at least according to I have FIFA 18, so that's probably why I make that comparison. But either way, I'm looking at Cameroon, the amount of yellow cards they've had. I don't think it's they've had three today. That's one thing. Had three today against Serbia. They had two against Serbia. And then, so as long as they had one against Switzerland, it would still be technically in sense Switzerland advancing off yellow cards. Nonetheless, here's Jaka. Zakaria lost it there, as once again, pressure still comes, and Vanya Milinkovic-Savic will send it forward. Yeah, Cameroon had that. So technically, Switzerland is still in advantage both on goal differentials, goals scored, if that's even tied up, and then yellow cards. That's why for Switzerland, even if there was a shock result, fourth goal here kind of gives you autonomy in sense of somehow you're going to get a tiebreaker, whether that be goal differential, whether that be goal scored too. Say Serbia was to come back and this ends out 3-4. It definitely works in favor of Switzerland. A very smart move too by Yakin. Of course, Murat Yakin, Swiss man himself, as I said, but 15 years coaching, of course, mostly in Switzerland, except 1 year at Spartak Moscow. Not the same for Dragan Stojkovic, as he's been coaching all over the world. Now, a year into his time with Serbia, but of course, played or coached in China for 5 years, coached in Japan for 5 years, and he was also a player of the team when Serbia ended up going to the knockout last time as a member of Yugoslavia. That one clipped in, at least tried to be clipped in. It was blocked away, went into the box. Swiss man being down, I believe that's a kanji. And with that, it's a free kick for the Swiss. It was actually not a kanji, it was Zakaria there. Pardon me. It was Jovic trying to get ahead to it as well. As I noted earlier, Serbia's got three forwards. Jovic, 29 caps, 10 goals for him. So overall, a solid appearance so far. Then you got Dusan Vlajovic, who was starting that one, got his 10th goal in his 19th cap today. So kind of neck and neck. And so far, Jovic kind of falling behind in terms of pace as Vlajovic has been the one overall. Either way, 77th minute, still Switzerland 3, Serbia 2. As here's a dashing attack, trying to go forward there, and doing so, at least for a while, was Maximovic. Goes out once again. Swiss throw-in. They're just trying to hold on here. Trying to hold on for 3 points, which would be helpful. Would be helpful overall too, knowing the fact they're going to get a confidence boost as well. You do note Portugal, even though they advanced to the knockouts and match day two, did not play reserves. It was mostly starters, including Cristiano Ronaldo. More changes coming as Tadic and Zivkovic will head off for Serbia. Those are your fourth and fifth changes, respectfully. Duricic and Radoncic will check in. So, of course, there being Tadic himself wearing the number 10. Center attacking midfielder today, of course, one of the five guys that played in the match, at least started the match back in 2018 between those two sides. That was a thriller as Switzerland ended out coming back from behind to win a 2-1. They came back from behind today, down 2-1, to be currently up 3-2. So here's Switzerland again. Maximovic, or pardon me, not Switzerland, Serbia on the ball. I apologize. It's interesting. You've got two teams that primarily wear red. One's wearing white, one's wearing red. You never know what's going to happen. My apologies. Also, kind of takes you inside the mind of a broadcaster, too. Kostic tried playing through for Pavlovic. Cutaway there. Good work by Shar. Got a few Swiss guys kind of up in arms saying, "What was that?" And I think they're calling for a foul as currently Schar's on the ground. Clear that one away. Pavlovic stepped in his way, didn't go studs up, so I don't think there would be a card in that manner, but nonetheless, it indeed should be a foul. 80th minute here, 80th minute. And if you're just tuning in, boy, have we seen some goals. I just know I was looking back at some of the games I called here on these reaction vids, and all of the games have been pretty low scoring. All of them, at most, 3 goals were scored. That being Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and the Group C kind of banter we had on Wednesday. Poland, Argentina ended out 2-0. This one, though, pretty high scoring, as you got Switzerland 3, Serbia 2. Although most of those goals came in the first half, now it's kind of the waiting period for both sides and more of a sense of Serbia with their backs against the wall. What can they do? Meanwhile, free kick given for Switzerland. Granit Xhaka just plowed there in the middle by Lukic. And with that, it will be a free kick. It will be interesting to see what Yakin does with this squad in the sense that you can go out and get that goal. And, in sense, a fourth goal would be helpful and almost put Serbia on ice, and they might as well get the plane ready. We see an interesting collision there as number 21 for Serbia, Duricic, upon just checking in, got a gash to his face. The blood is dripping down the left side, kind of where I'm pointing here. Is kind of in a three-man collision with Froila and Xhaka. Either way, play has continued. Serbia, as of right now, is down a man as Vidmer scoops it forward, looking for Mbolo, who's strangled down there at the edge of the box. Free kick Switzerland, and with that, a yellow card is given there for Godelj. Boy, oh boy, Mbolo trying to get in the clear. Might have been a smart play, might have not. Sets up an interesting free kick, and boy, would Switzerland want Xherdan Shaqiri on the pitch right now. So either way, you still got some interesting options, including Granit Xhaka, some other guys in the area, I think being Fernandez and Schar and Akanji. So you got two of your center backs going forward to potentially take a free kick here. 4 men on the wall, nobody on the ground for Serbia. So under the wall option is possible. You got Akanji and Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, quality free kick taker with Arsenal, who's right now balling right now in the Premier League at the top of the table. So it could be Xhaka. And now Serbia will bring someone forward. Mitrovic is arguing with the ref. He is given a yellow card for dissent, I would guess. And now that Serbia has brought in Lukic to lay on the ground. So Alexander Mitrovic there with the yellow card. So once again, 4 men in the wall. Might be more like 5 or 6, depending on how things look at it. But either way, people in the area. Akanji's shot just goes on the side netting. It was Akanji just tapping it to Xhaka. Xhaka setting it up, and Akanji, the center back, almost put that one in. Let's take a look at that. Inquisitive play there by Switzerland. They just couldn't steer it on frame. I think they caught everybody off guard. I was thinking it would be Xhaka taking that free kick, just knowing his free kick prowess. Of course, I mean, nothing beats how Luis Chavez played, especially in out-of-box areas, as this one by Vanya Milenkovic-Savic is controlled. He'll send this forward here. Mitrovic gets his head to it. Trying to give chase was Jovic, cut away there by Xhaka. So Rodriguez clipped it up, deflected off of Jovic, yes. So throw in here, 83rd minute. Still Switzerland 3, Serbia 2. And still scoreless between Cameroon and Brazil. That one taking place at Lusail Stadium. Brazil has kind of called that place home for quite a while. Played Serbia over there. Everybody remembers Richarlison's first goal was an easy one, but Richarlison's second goal is what many people are considering goal of the tournament. Best goal I've ever seen at a World Cup in my 8 years of watching soccer. Just chested down and just does a simple bicycle kick back of the net. That one deflected out. With that, a throw in for Serbia, I guess. Pavlovic again. Mitrovic heads it up. Once again, Swiss play moonball for now. The ball is down as it goes out towards Pavlovic of Serbia. So once again, Serbia on the attack. Now they're going to control it here, still in their area, as it's Pavlovic on the ball. Pavlovic going forward, went off of the ref, and with that, I think there'll be a reset there. Trying to get something going was Jovic. Serbia overall, I mean, I talked about at the top of the show. They're switching from a 3-4-2-1 to a 3-4-1-2 that they've used today, hopefully to try to get two poachers per sense in the area. So far, it's worked today. Vlajovic and Mitrovic with the goal, and Jovic having his contributions ever since coming on. The question is, Serbia's got 5 minutes plus stoppage time to get two goals back. That is the only way Serbia can make the knockout stage. Other than that, right now looks like Switzerland is moving on, and barring Cameroon maybe gets a goal, maybe Cameroon is in. A lot of nervy moments, a lot of interesting decisions to be made in this next 5 minutes as Group G wraps up and the group stage in general wraps up today. With that, I'd like to give you a reminder at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 6 o'clock Eastern, I'll be doing a little preview of the playoffs. I don't know how long it will last, probably around 15 to 20 minutes in general, as I break down the playoffs, kind of the games I'm interested in, some of the teams that I'm interested in. You know, maybe do we see some questions being asked? And in general, I'll also give some previews for Netherlands, United States, which I'll be doing that one bright and early, 8 a.m. So not the usual 12 o'clock time that you've seen me doing the matches. And then hopefully, depending on how much time I have, I will be calling Argentina, Australia also tomorrow. Sunday, it's in Poland at 8 o'clock, another early morning game. And then Monday, I'll head back to Cincinnati. So no games that day. Should be some interesting ones as well, in my opinion. As you got some interesting teams as well. I think you're gonna have the Japan Croatia game that day, and then you're also gonna have Brazil playing the runner up, or Brazil, presumably Brazil that is, playing against South Korea. This one goes out, throw in for Serbia, now on the left-hand side. Still, once again, in Swiss territory, trying to get that equalizer. They'll need two goals to officially advance, as that one cleared away there by Kanji. About 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left in this one. Have seen some pauses. We did see a banter there as Mitrovic went down. No penalty was called, but the Serbian bench was up in arms and were actually running onto the pitch, talking smack to the Swiss players and then even to the officials as well. So that could be a cause to potentially go forward in this one. Pavlovic puts it up. Now towards Fernandez. Played him towards Embolo. Embolo goes down. Ref right now says play on. Jaka to Rodriguez. And I think this is what we're going to see Switzerland keep on doing. All they need is right now a point. But given what we could expect from Cameroon, Brazil, we never know. So, in sense, goals helpful. We don't know that, I mean, unless Cameroon was to lay on the damage against Brazil late on, should be the case that the Brazilians should be on to the knockouts as the first seed. Switzerland would be second, playing Portugal. That too, I mean, to know that's an interesting side of the bracket, as I've said before. Morocco being the number one seed, first time in a while, or first time ever that an African team topped their group. And you've got Spain as the second seed in what should be an interesting matchup. Then you got Portugal as of right now facing off against Switzerland. Those two have faced off many times in different tournaments, including the Euro, I believe, back in 2016, which Portugal won on penalty kicks. So, of course, a lot of nervy moments. It's going to be an interesting side of the bracket. I think one of the sides that I'm more fascinated on, in the sense that you never know who's going to end out there alive or end out there in the semis. You know, we could have an African team, could be a young Spain side, Cristiano Ronaldo trying for a swan song, or even Switzerland too. You never know what to expect. That's what you love about the World Cup. It's a world spectacle for a reason, not just the flashy lights, not just people tuning in and showing their passion for their country. It's the games like these, coming down to tense moments to decide who goes on. Granit Xhaka, not a Dennis Zakaria. Zakaria Embolo. Fernandez plays it out, wide open on the Vargas in the clear. Great save in the middle, as it was once again Vanya himself, Vanya Milenkovic-Savic, about 15 yards off his line, decides to just save it there. Great kick save off of Vargas. Otherwise, Switzerland would have put this on tap, but kind of speaks to how this game has gone. Switzerland has found the open spaces, and boy, Vargas had acres of space, just couldn't put it in the back of the net. Actually, it wasn't Vargas himself, it was one of the guys coming off the bench. It might have been missed. Yeah, it was Christian Fasnacht coming off the bench. If I'm not mistaken, he might have checked in for Vargas, just knowing where he stood in terms of where he was in the pitch. And indeed, yes. So Fasnacht now on for Vargas. Nonetheless, here's Serbia now on the attack. Great dance on the ball and a little knock away there by number 7 of Serbia. Of course, a lot of different numbers coming in, that being Radoncic, who's now out on the right-hand side, checked in for Zivkovic earlier today. 90 minutes through here from Stadium 974. Serbia in desperate need of 2 goals to keep their World Cup hopes alive. Otherwise, Switzerland is on to the next round, most likely. 7 minutes of stoppage time here before the final whistle blows. Pavlovic, Lukic, once again towards Pavlovic, playing center back, but a little higher up the pitch. In general, here's Lukic sending it in, higher up towards Mitrovic. Knocked down, headed back. Swiss now, once again, look to control the pace. And boy, will they take this slow. Just like the holiday season in general. Here's Fasnacht now. Serbia with the numbers back. Fasnacht keeps on going. Fasnacht still on the ball, and now he'll cut it back. Keep away continues for the Swiss. Akanji back towards midfield. Now with Widmer. Fernandez. Embolo. Now he will head towards the corner flag, rightfully so. Swiss fans, a lot of them in attendance today. Of course, making the trip from their home country and from all over the world. Great to see them in attendance. Great to see all the fans coming out, especially in this World Cup in November and December, not in the typical summer spot, which we have seen many times, actually, every edition of the World Cup, except this one. First World Cup to be held in wintertime, technically fall/winter. You think about it, according to the calendar, it's technically fall still, even though it's December, still fall. That's how stuff works out sometimes, I guess. This one whipped in. Header just goes too high. Once again, Mitrovic Jovic rather, with a great chance to maybe get an equalizer. And once again, Radoncic with the initial cross in. We have an update here from Cameroon and Brazil, as Cameroon was the one going forward. The ball was whipped in. The header went right in the net. How about that? Stoppage time here with Cameroon, Brazil, Lusail Stadium, and putting it in. It's a great finish, and a great finish indeed. Gotta give credit to Cameroon. Holy smokes. Now you think about it, the pressure's now on Serbia some more, in sense it has, well, I mean, you heard me say it before, but Switzerland overall now has 4 goals in this World Cup. Cameroon also has 4 goals in this World Cup. Switzerland comes in today now with a +2 goal differential, if it stands. If it goes down, it's back to a +1. Cameroon also, actually, Cameroon is at a 0 goal differential, but either way, you get my point. Both of them at a 0 goal differential. Switzerland, though, if they get a goal here, it would help them out a lot. Seen a lot of stuff there, as we saw a big push. Milenkovic getting in it with Xhaka. Xhaka's got to keep his cool here. We've already seen 3 yellow cards for Switzerland a day, and since they've already got 6. Cameroon, from what I heard last time, Cameroon has got 4 yellow cards today, so they've already got 7 yellow cards in general, and Vincent Aboubakar, who scored the goal, has got a red card. Second yellow for him. I don't know. It might have been actually from taking off his shirt, believe it or not, because he did on that replay. So I guess, again, one of those stupid red cards that you don't want to do it. Meanwhile, back at Stadium 974, and boy, oh boy, now the two teams are tussling, Switzerland and Serbia, trying to get something going or just trying to settle down for once. I mean, this has been a tussle. You think about it, the teams were to meet up a little more often. I think this could be often a rivalry, just knowing how close this game has been. And there was the case in 2018, a highly physical matchup going back and forth, intense, going all the way to the death. With that, Jaka gets a yellow card. And with that, I think a yellow card was also shown to Serbia in that regard. Yes, indeed, for Milenkovic. Now Mitrovic is now getting in with Jaka. He's already on a yellow. Again, I don't understand why this tussle is occurring. I mean, sure, Serbia may be losing their heads knowing that, this may be all said and done, but either way, I'm a broadcaster. I'm supposed to find some words, but I think the words kind of speak for themselves. They're fighting. They're fighting and they shouldn't. It's quite simple, honestly. So either way, 5 minutes through, and now the ref will blow the whistle for potentially a free kick. As you're going to see Embolo head off here. Embolo had the equalizer in the 45th minute to make this a 2-all game. And of course, on the other side, it was Froila to make it 3-2. As it stands, that is the game winner. Embolo will head off, fresh off his second goal in this World Cup. And heading on will be number 19. Number 19 for Switzerland. That being Noah Okafor, making his 11th cap in a stint here. So nonetheless, another goal kick if coming for Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. And with that, once finally, I should say, sends it forward. A little too forward for Mitrovic, who was trying to get ahead to it to redirect back. Once again, goes back to Switzerland. And Bolo getting some hugs on the sideline as the Swiss fans and the Swiss bench, especially, starting to get on their feet, realizing that as it stands right now, they would be heading to the knockout. Brazil, as I should state this too, Brazil, even though they have that, still at a +2 goal differential. Switzerland, also at a +2 goal differential. So if you think about it, if Switzerland wanted to, they could get a goal here and get the number one spot. Obviously, be a little better. They may have heard me as here they come again. Fosnacht going forward, still going for the ball, gets it out towards Fernandez. Fernandez now cuts it back. A little rough touch there. Either way, deflected off of Maximovic. Throw in Switzerland. And as I said earlier, maybe a chance for the Swiss to potentially get that goal, which would give them full advantage in Group G. As I said, winner would face South Korea. Second would face Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. Either way, we're 7 minutes through. And once again, it's back towards Milenkovic-Savic. Serbia put up a good fight today, and for a while it looked like they were going to be the ones up and go into the World Cup. But either way, as this one's sent forward, Switzerland eking their way closer to victory. Again, you got to give credit to Serbia. They came out physical. They came out attacking too. 3-all draw against Cameroon, but the defense could not hold up against the big attacks here. Schär sends this forward. Maybe a chance for Switzerland to gain number one? I don't know. Either way, Jaka pips it forward. Fosnacht now settled for the corner and was poked away there by Gudelj. Gudelj once again to Radoncic. And a foul there called on Fosnacht, who was trying to get the ball there. We did have a tussle for a while, so the refs whistle, although we are now 8 minutes through stoppage time, couldn't end up blowing any minute or any second in that regards. Schär pips this up. Widmer still going. Serbia saying it was out of bounds, but either way, play continues. Rough tackle there just between Pavlovic and Schär. It's going to be Pavlovic, I think, called for the foul, or actually drawing the foul in that regards, as Schär was called for the yellow. So rough one there for Fabian Schär, the list as a center back, not getting a yellow card in a previous match. So he will be allowed for the knockouts, and I believe for the knockouts, everything resets in that regards. So either way, what could be the final play of the match, final play of group stage, it's Kostic to send the ball in. So here we go. Outswinger into the box, headed up there by Akanji. Goes towards a Lukic, and Rodriguez, who tried to get on the attack, goes forward. Here comes Sal the other way, and he'll take this back, going up against Radoncic. And Radoncic there sent it back. It was actually not Sal, pardon me. It was actually Okafor going forward. Either way, approaching 100 minutes in this match. Pavlovic sees this out. It might have been a free kick either way. So another chance for the Serbians. Kostic once again to take this on the left-hand side. If anything here, maybe there's a good chance for Switzerland. Kostic whips this one into the box. Header, not much of a header. Shot goes wide. Good chance there by Radoncic, but he can't steer it on frame. Can't get the deflection. As we are now 100 minutes through this match. Still no final whistle has been blown yet. Of course, with all the tussling that has happened overall. Especially physicality, especially in stoppage time. And once again, it goes back towards the man himself, goalkeeper Kobo. And that's it. That is it from Stadium 974. The Swiss were down 2-1 at one point, and they rallied to score 2 goals, one by Embolo right before halftime, and then another by Freuler, which stands as the game winner. They win this one 3-2 over Serbia, and unfortunately for the Serbians, they will not be heading to the knockout stage. Last time they would have gone there would have been all the way back in 1998 as Yugoslavia. So as Serbia, no trip to the knockout. For Switzerland, they go to the knockout for the second consecutive World Cup. First time they have done that in country history. They've gone back-to-back appearances in 1994 and 2006, but never from back-to-back World Cup appearances, as was done in 2018 and now in 2022. Cameroon, Brazil ends out 1-0 in courtesy of a Vincent Abubakar goal. So with that, this is how it ends out. Brazil, despite the loss, is still number one with 6 points overall and a +2 goal differential. Switzerland solidified their second place spot, 6 points for them. They will end out with a +1 goal differential. Then you've got Serbia and Cameroon. Cameroon ends out in third with 4 points. They put up a good effort today. Unfortunately, not enough. They end up with a 0 goal differential. Serbia in dead last, only mustering a point from this World Cup, and overall going to a -3 goal differential. So, with that, we have our last groups for the knockouts. Is you'll have Brazil facing South Korea, which will happen on Monday, and then Portugal against Switzerland on Tuesday. That should be an interesting one as well. Those two games and many others will be broken down at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time when I look at what's going on with the playoff picture and the knockout round in general. It will be going on right here on YouTube. I'll post the stream up right after this, after it ends. It will also be going on Instagram Live as well. For now, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Hopefully, I'll see you later. If not, so long, good night, and stay safe.